it. Let's do it. All right. We are going to be going live right now, and we are live. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Linda. Happy Friday. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show, full of energy. Good morning, Courtney. All right. You want to know why I know that? I'm going to give you a little dose as to what you are in for. All right. I already told TikTok, but I'm gonna fill you in on my morning. So Indy threw up at 3 o'clock this morning, so she woke me up there. Good morning, Diana. So Indy threw up because good morning, Valerie, because she's always eating her toys. So she threw up, so I got up, I fell back to sleep, I overslept, I didn't go to the gym, I slept more than I have in the last 6 months. And Courtney, I'll show you my outfit. So I slept in, so I overslept. I woke up to a really rude comment, and I was just like, ugh. And then I went to go make coffee. I forgot to put the cover on the grinder, and now I have coffee beans everywhere. And then I'm like, okay, great. Now it's time to go live. Hello, everyone. So I am in a very spunky mood. So be prepared. Buckle up. I am pretty sure we're going to have lots of rants today, just because it's like, every time I'm like, okay, universe, the universe is like, let's add a little bit more pepper to her. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And so we're all spicy and peppery today. All right. Elena says, hey, Lonni, long time no see, darling. I am so glad you all are here for my spicy question and answer Friday. Now, let's start with my eyeliner. I got new eyeliner. I'm wearing a really pretty like cobalt blue, and I got this from Urban Decay. I got it off of Amazon, and this is the one that I told you about yesterday that I was like, oh my gosh, this is like 20 bucks. I don't know if I want to spend that much for makeup because I'm always on a budget. I'm going to tell you right now, it's 100%. It's worth the $20. I love it. I'm going to be wearing that more, especially on the top, than the black, because it has the same effect, but it's not as heavy as a black liner. And then I put a little bit of the black underneath my waterline just to give the top lid some color. And then, okay, Valerie, I will tell you, that's a good question. So I put that, I absolutely love it. And I'm wearing the cute little top that I got from Free People. Remember I told you I went shopping and, remember I went shopping. I just got an email from TikTok. Remember I went shopping and I grabbed the wrong size top, and I was super bummed and I had to go back. Well, this is the top that I had bought that was the wrong size. And this is, look how cute this is. And I'll tell you the story. So that's it. And I'm wearing it with these cute plaid pants. And then I decided, because I always do this, I wanted to have like a little mixture of patterns. So I have, it's easier just to do it this way. So I have as I'm undressing here, I have my Doc Martens with the animal print to go with my checkered pants. And that's what I'm wearing today. Linda, yeah, Indy's okay. What she does is she eats all her toys. I mean, the poor thing, she loves toys and she loves to chew on them, but she eats them because, oh yeah, Courtney, you have to mix patterns. She eats her toys. And I always try to grab the toys away from her before she starts actually swallowing them. And so she just gets a lot of plastic in her stomach, and she just throws that up, and thankfully she does. So Indy is perfectly okay. Now, Valerie says, well, good. My question is right on target. Then what is your biggest pet peeve? You know, my biggest pet peeve is when people don't put their shopping carts away. It drives me crazy. You know, it's like, you were able to walk to the store. You were able to get your cart. You pushed it all around the store. You pushed it all the way to your car. And why do you suddenly lose your ability to keep pushing that cart once everything's in your car? You know, put it back. Be respectful, because I'm the type of person that if I'm if I park and I see a wonky shopping cart, like, just like teetering on the edge and it looks like it's going to start rolling, I'll grab it and I'll put it away. You know what? I'm walking that way anyway. Why not just grab it and save somebody's car from getting dented in? I mean, it's common sense. It's common courtesy. And so that is number one, I have a lot of them, but that's really one of my biggest pet peeves. And I'm the type of person that if I'm driving around or if I'm walking across the parking lot and I see this stray shopping cart just rolling around, I'll run up and grab it and put it away. And I'm just like, people, you just get to me. Happy Birdman Month. Hello. Let's see here. You can learn a lot about a person from whether or not they put their shopping carts back. Yes, true story. All right. One time, because I belong to a gym and they had like a smaller gym really close to my house. So that's before the pandemic when I was running. And I was sitting there and I was on the treadmill running and I saw a local realtor who I knew coming out of a grocery store and she was pushing a shopping cart. And I'm like, ooh, I'm going to watch her. I'm going to see if she's the type of person to not put her shopping cart away or if she's going to. So I'm just like, I remember just running and I'm just like, ooh, can't wait. And she ended up putting her shopping cart away. So I was like, okay, then you're okay. But yeah, no, it's like a real you really just can really gauge a lot about a person by what they do with their shopping cart. Now, if I'm walking into the store and I see like a little old lady or a little old man and they're struggling with their shopping cart, I'll just stand there and I'll be like, hey, I'll put your cart away for you. And they always appreciate it. And it takes 2 seconds out of my life. So I'm just like, why not? Why not just be that person? Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I was wondering what that is. Okay. I always go to Aldi's and have 25 cents. Oh, okay. Let's see here. In Romania, people let the carts in a corner for the homeless kids who want to get money from them. Oh, wow. That's, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Courtney. I knew you did. All right. Yeah. Valerie's like, right. And they even take parking spots with their carts. That's what I don't understand. It's like they think like they're doing good by like just putting their cart on the curb that takes a parking spot. So that is 100% my pet peeves. All right. So it is question and answer Friday. Courtney, I know you have some questions. But here's the thing. I told you I woke up to a really kind of like schmeh comment. And I'm used to getting negative comments all the time. I mean, that's just being a part of being on social media. And that is, so you leave the quarter in the cart for somebody else. Is that what you're saying, Joey? So I'm used to the negative comments and I'm used to just like being like, whatever. But that's really cool. And thank you for doing that. That's really, really nice. So I'm used to it and I expect it. But what I got this morning was a derogatory message against women. And that is 0 allowed in my universe. And it is just 100% ain't going to happen in my world. So I thought about responding to that person. And I was, I had a really snappy comeback, just ready to go. And I started typing it. And then I stopped and I'm like, why? Why give this person 1 ounce of my energy? You know what? My snappy comeback isn't going to make him a better person. My snappy comeback is not going to be like, oh, wow, yeah, no, I guess I really need to start respecting women more because, this is a really snappy comeback. And the only person that was going to hurt, the only person by doing that it was going to be affected was me. Because I was going to be, for one, I was going to be acknowledging his existence. And for me, it's not, I don't want to give my energy to that type of person. So I just deleted it, period, just gone, blocked. You ain't going to be a part of my world. So now I thought about it when I was getting ready, and I'm like, okay, you know what? It was really easy for me to block. But what about the people in his life? All right. What about his wife, his girlfriend, his partner? Maybe he's somebody's dad. He's somebody's son. And I'm like, wow, what kind of impact is he having on those people? So my response and my message for everyone today who is hearing this, if you have somebody in your life who can easily just be like that to some stranger on the internet, my heart goes out to you. All right. You have my empathy. And I also want you to know that you are better than that. And if that person is sitting there and it is doing that kind of venom towards me, I can only imagine the type of venom that is being spread to your loved ones. So if you're out there and you are in a relationship where that person is tearing you down, whether you're male or female, my heart goes out to you, and I see you, and I give you a big internet mental hug, and I hope that you find a way to just protect yourself. So I was more worried about their partner than I was myself, because to me, it's like, yeah, I was already married to that. I already know your insecurities. I see you for what you are. You don't get to me anymore. I felt sorry for the people that are in that kind of person's life. So again, this message is for you. If you're out there and you have that kind of person in your life, I absolutely 100% I love you, and I'm sorry you are. Those are my nails. All right. So some questions. Lisa says, hello, I started following you yesterday. I'm 56, started my tattoo journey. You are an inspiration. Thank you so much. I started my tattoo journey when I was 30, and I was just getting out of that bad marriage that I was in. And I wanted a tattoo to represent my feeling of how I was feeling at that time. And that feeling was, I felt trapped. I felt like I was trapped in a marriage that wasn't healthy, and I had separated myself from the world. So I got barbed wire around my ankle. Elena says, how are the boys? They're doing good. They're doing really, really good. They both are home right now, and they are just, and they're doing good. They're flourishing. And it's been a really cool journey. Ooh, Valerie says, what's your favorite smell? I would have, truthfully, if I'm going to put like a really happy, kind of like warm kind of feeling with a smell, it's cooking Thanksgiving dinner. I just remember waking up as a kid, because we always had to eat early for some reason when I was a kid. And my mom always cooked Thanksgiving dinner. So she would get up like at some ungodly hour, like at 3 o'clock in the morning, and start cooking dinner. So by the time I woke up, the turkey was already cooking, the dressing was in there, and I absolutely, that is my go-to, like, oh, that is such a cool smell. That's my favorite smell. That and Christmas trees. Those two things are my favorite smells. Lisa says, wow, I just ended a marriage that was unhealthy. See, I see that a lot. A lot of times people get tattoos when they're like, it's almost like a rebirth. It's almost like you have, it's almost like you're signifying through like your art and your pain, almost like a regrowth kind of thing. And tattoos are a great way, a perfect way to start your new journey of who you are when you get out of an unhealthy relationship. Are those overalls you're wearing? No, Tiffany, this is just a cute little top. And I love it. It's from Free People. I got an extra small. The small one was way too big, and it's like a perfect top. Let's see here. It looks like a jumpsuit you have on. It's adorable. You always look great. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Joey, what did Joey say? Joey says, are you getting any of my comments? Yes, I am. And my favorite smell is fresh cut trees. See, like a Christmas tree. All right. So Lisa says yes, yes. And it really is. And it's one of my, that's why I'm like so adamant for tattoos and the ability for people to get tattoos and not be judged by it, because a lot of times there's a lot of deep emotions through your process of getting that tattoo. Jeanette says, I agree about tattoos. I got mine when I lost my vision on my left eye. Oh, wow. And if you don't mind, Jeanette, if it's not too personal, what tattoo and where did you get it? I'd like to know that. Said here, can you adopt me, please? You know what? I consider my entire platform that as my adopted children, put it that way. So Joey says, but I love Paris Hilton's signature tattooed on my wrist. Oh, very cool. See, everybody has their own tattoo journey, and it's always like so individual. And we get so caught up, and I've said this before, but we get so caught up on like getting the perfect tattoo or getting like the tattoo style that is currently popular. And I don't think any of that is super important. What's important is how you feel, how it makes you feel, and how it represents you in the moment that you are right now. Those are the important things for tattoos. Lisa says, my ex hated tattoos, so now I'm free to do what I want. Lisa, I always say, because what happened, the timeline for the new tattoo and me getting a divorce is that my ex-husband and I separated. And during that separation, my sister and I decided to get our first tattoos. So we went to an outlaw biker shop in Palm Springs, and we took our kids and we went and got our first tattoo. Well, my ex-husband and I ended up, I accidentally forgot to put the cover on it again. So I know, but we still have coffee in the coffee pot. I'm filling Brandon in on the coffee explosion as to why everything is like all over the place. But so we got our first tattoo. And then what happened is that my ex-husband and I reconciled for a short time. And then he absolutely hated that tattoo. And to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I just gave him more ammo to be mean to me instead of appreciating my self-expression. So I always say, Lisa, that, you know what, I got rid of my ex-husband and kept my tattoos, and the best decision I ever made. All right. Oh, Jenny says hi. Hello. On TikTok, Jenny's like, hi, Brandon. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Jenny. All right. Oh, it must be Jen then. Is it? Most likely. I'm not too sure, but they heard me say your name. There's my Brandon. So Nev says, is it a good idea to get colored butterflies on a black and white rose tattoo? Please advise. Okay, so you have a black and gray tattoo, and you're thinking about putting colors on top of that, or all incorporated into one tattoo? Give me a little info, and I will gladly give you my opinion on that one. Hello, Lauren. So Tiggy says, my tattoos all have some meaning. I regret putting my Rick Springfield tattoo on my back. I can't see it. I absolutely love the fact that you have a Rick Springfield tattoo. And I always say that whether or not, okay, so if your tattoo has a really deep meaning, that's a meaning. And if your tattoo has no meaning at all and it's just a random tattoo, that's still a meaning. The simple fact that you don't have one is a statement. So it doesn't have to have like a deep emotional meaning, but it just means that you're free and you're just getting a tattoo and it's fun. So I say every tattoo has a meaning, even if it's not a deep emotional meaning. Your non-meaning is a meaning. Okay, so Nev says, around it, not on top of the roses. Yeah, I think that sounds beautiful. See, I personally love the mixture, just like with my clothes and mixing patterns. I love mixing tattoos. I mean, if I didn't really already have my arms all worked out, I mean, I wanted one color arm and I wanted one black and gray arm. That's just what I wanted. And the reasoning behind that is because this is my memorial arm for my sister, my dad, my mom, for Liberty. This is their arm. And I did not want my second arm to be anywhere near like my memorial arm. So I decided to keep this all black and gray. Now, if I did not have that reasoning behind my color choices, I would definitely put like little colored tattoos all in there. I think it would be really cool. So if you have a black and gray tattoo and you want to put a colored element around it, 100% go for it. I think it sounds really cool. And yeah, and just enjoy your tattoo. All right. Would you ever get a portrait tattoo of Indy? You know, I do my animal tattoos once my animals are no longer with me. I have Freedom around my wrist, which Freedom was my Cane Corso Mastiff that I had before Liberty. I have Liberty right here on my list, and then I have her paw print on my calf. And once Indy chooses to not be with me anymore, I'll do a memorial for her. And I just don't know what it is yet because she's only a year old, and I'm hoping she's with me for a really long time. So yes, I will one day. I don't think it would be a portrait, but I will have probably her paw print and her name put on me somewhere at one point, hopefully. Let's see here. I have a portrait of my 2 dogs on my Disney sleeve. Oh, that is so cool, Lauren. All right, Tiggy wrote, I wrote out Gravity Rides Everything on my daughter's arm in handwriting. I am going to have her do lyrics and get it in the same place. Ooh, how cool, Tiggy. Now, Linda says, you're like me and hate matchy-matchy. I do not like matchy-matchy. The only time I like that is if I'm doing a monochromatic outfit like all black or something like that. But other than that, it's a mixture and it's a mix and a match for me. Let's see here. Oh, I have to move this. Terry Poppins says, and I love the username, I'm certain if I knew you in real life, we'd be besties. Absolutely. You know what? And that's just the whole thing. It's like, yeah, people with like energy absolutely gravitate towards each other. Valerie says, do you have a lower back tattoo? Yes, I do. In fact, that was my second tattoo. So after my ex-husband and I reconciled, and he was a complete hole about my my ankle tattoo, I'm like, you know what? I am going to just go and I'm going to get another tattoo. And I did get a lower back tattoo. And I refuse, and I've said this before, but I refuse to call it that other word that people say, because I am not going to put anything on my body in any sort of derogatory term. My tattoo is on my lower back, and that is where it's at, and that is what it's called. It's not called anything else. So I do have a tattoo there. I love it. And I'm not going to walk around and be like, oh, I'm so embarrassed that I have that because, you know, it was all cool back in, 1999 or 2000, and now it's not cool anymore. No. You know what? It is so okay for me to have my tattoo there, and it's still yes, Lauren, that's exactly what they call it. And I refuse to do that because you know what? It is derogatory towards women, and there is not once that I am going to jump on that bandwagon and have any sort of derogatory message and anything in my platform. Lonni, you ended up on the weird side of TikTok earlier for sure. Yeah. What was all that about, Courtney? It was just like, oh my gosh, YouTube, you have no idea. Courtney, my friend, my moderator, my hero, she's over on TikTok and she's just like fighting off some really weird questions from some very questionable people. And so that's why I love her. And I'm just like, yeah, y'all don't know who you're up against, but she's gonna keep you in your spot. But let's see here. Belha says, do you have a job? Because I want to know the difference with the France. This is not ACE. with friends. Well, this is what I do for a living. I am a full-time social media content creator. So this is what I do. I left a full-time corporate career. It wasn't just a job. It was a very well-paying corporate job to do this full-time because I decided, just like when I got sober, I just decided I didn't want to end up like, I didn't want to spend the rest of my life doing that. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life being sad that I had to get up every day and go to work. And it was such a stressful job that I would actually forget to breathe. Now, let's set the scene. All right. I had my wonky hair because I just don't think it was as fierce as the hair I have right now. So I had my wonky hair. I had 3 monitors because you know what? I was just constantly just going. I had my headset. I had my phone. So people are texting me. People are calling me. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. And they want, and they want, and they want. And it was just to the point where my own kids were worried about my health. They're like, yeah, you're going to have a heart attack. You're going to have a stroke. And I'm like, I know. So I decided, and it was a really scary step, but I decided to be like, I am going to unhook my safety belt and I am going to dive off and I'm going to follow my dreams because I kept, Gloria, thank you so much. Gloria says she likes my hair. And I just decided to follow my dreams because I kept on telling Robert and Brandon, I kept on telling them, like, follow your dreams. Do what you want. If you want, grab a van, drive around the world, you know, or you can't really drive around the world, but you can drive around the United States. And I kept on telling them, follow your dreams, follow your dreams. And then all of a sudden I woke up and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? Here I am telling my children to just follow their dreams. Don't be scared, you know, make that plunge. And I wasn't doing it myself. And one thing I have learned by being a sober mom now, because I wasn't a sober mom when they were younger, it's that you make more in an impact on your children by example than you do by words. All right. I could sit there all day long and I could be like, yeah, you know what? Do this, do this, do this. And unless I'm doing it myself, they're hollow words. So I decided to, by example, show them that you can follow your dreams at any stage of life. I accidentally made a mess with the coffee maker. I forgot to put the lid on again, but the coffee's fine. So now I'm having to explain the coffee situation to Robert. I've already, yeah, no, it's a mess in there. Okay, the look he gave me was this. So I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up. Just jumped on to send some love. Thank you, Selena. So Linda says, no, Valerie says she loves her lower back tattoo. Linda says, I have the tree of life, which is my son's Celtic birth sign on as a lower back tattoo. Very cool. Now, I do have a tree of life on my black and gray arm, and it's such a weird spot to see, but it's right here. And I wanted to do my tree of life in, I didn't want to do a tree of life that was all like, oh, thank you. Thank you, Gloria. Okay, so let me, I'm jumping all over the place, but I didn't want to do a tree of life that looked flourishing and was like really green and lush, because truthfully, that was not my life. My life was a very challenging life. My life wasn't an easy life, but I wanted to prove that even when you have a challenging, not so easy life, beautiful things can come from it. I mean, I have Robert and Brandon. I have you. I have my platform. I mean, I feel like even though my beginnings weren't all that bright and beautiful, that I still was able to make something beautiful out of it. So that's one of the reasons why I chose to do my tree of life in a black and gray, almost like the tree doesn't really, it looks like it could be dying. But if you notice that the roots are a heart. So it's like out of love, beautiful things can happen. Lisa says, where did you get those leopard ducks? These are the Adrian Snaffle Doc Martens. And I got these probably 8 years ago. They have them, they released them earlier in the year. So I would check Doc Martens. If not, you're going to have to check like Poshmark or something like that. Thank you, Gloria. So yeah, so that is absolutely why that's part of my tattoo journey. Now, okay, so remember yesterday I told you all about the orcas, because I'm not going to call them killer whales because I think that makes them sound really mean, but how it's like we have the orcas and they're like super smart and they're doing an uprising, and that there was the AI that are saying that that's going to be our downfall. And then also to the volcano in Hawaii. Well, have you all heard about the people who saw an alien in Texas? Okay, we're sitting here and we're worrying about orcas in the ocean, and people are like, yeah, no, I have an alien in my backyard, and I am all about it. I am all about these Texas aliens, and I want to know, have you heard anything about it? Because it's like they saw things falling from the sky. They're like, I don't know. I mean, it's really weird. I saw a little bit of a news clip on it, but I had to do something with Indy. So I didn't get to see the full news story, but they're like, yeah, the cops in Texas believe these people who say they have an alien in their backyard. And my question to you is, do you believe in aliens? Do you think, yeah, Courtney, it totally fascinates me. I mean, am I the only one who thinks that there could really be aliens? Or do you think that this is all made up? So yes, Nev says yes, but I wish that they had a video of the aliens. You know what? Yes. And I wish they did too. And you know, that is a little suspicious because it seems like everybody is able to videotape everything in their life. And I wish that they had seen it. But I know myself, like if I'm taking, oh, Gloria says you've seen a UFO. Very cool. I've seen a ghost, but I've never seen a UFO. And I mean, I have, I'll tell you my ghost story. So Linda says, I was going to ask you if you believe in aliens. See, now here's the thing is I think it's really just kind of like pompous of us to think that we are the only smart things in this entire universe. So there could be other planets with life on there. And, you know, we go visiting them, you know, maybe they're going to come visit us. So to me, it's like between the orca whales and the AI and now aliens in Texas, which I think is really funny that they picked Texas. You know, it's like, it's, were they just like, hey, I'm just going to go for this state of Texas? I don't know. You know, it's funny because I'm from California, and Texas thinks Californians are a little iffy. And I'm just like, yeah, you know what? It's like, maybe they picked Texas for a reason. Hello from Montana. So, all right. Let's see here. My ghost story. So this was when I was living in my other house, and it was probably about 15 years ago, and I was getting ready for work. All right. And I'm sitting there, and I had hair back then. And Lonni, I swear we share a brain. Yes, we do, Courtney. So I'm sitting there and I'm getting ready for work. I was a real estate agent, so I had no set hours. So I'm setting the scene. So I lived with a boyfriend at that time, and he had a big old Rottweiler dog. Well, my kids were at school, so we were alone in the house. And the dog was like laying in the bathroom right next to me. And I was getting ready for work, and I was blow drying my hair. Well, I wanted to see the back of my hair, so I had the medicine cabinet mirror open, and I'm like, da, 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 drying the back of my hair, and I go to shut it, and when I shut it, there was a man standing behind me. Now, this was a full figure person, all right? I can still remember exactly what he looked like. And I'm like, oh no, there's a man standing behind me. And I look down at the dog and I'm like, why is he not barking? He's a very protective dog. He should be barking. And I look up again and I'm like, yeah, no, there's somebody standing behind me. And I look down again and I go, bark. And then I look up and the guy was gone. And the thing is that I'm going to try to describe him. All right. The, yeah. And here's the thing. It's like, he was a guy, but he wasn't of my time period. All right. He was more of somebody who was probably working. I call him a longshoreman, but just imagine going back in time to like New York City when there were dock workers and they had on like that really heavy black, like almost like a rubber waterproof big old jacket. He had black hair with a big old black beard. And you know how the jackets have like the turned up sleeves with like the tan color? It looked like he was a fisherman. But he worked on the docks back in the 30s, 20s, 30s, I don't know what time period, maybe the 1800s, but he had that look and he had that vibe. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can still see what he looks like. So I was like, and I'm getting ready and I'm like, okay, this is a vision. So I literally looked for him in the store for months, if not years. And I thought what it was is I thought it was an apparition of somebody who I was going to meet. That's what I thought. And then I have come to the conclusion that that's not who he is. And I don't believe that he was already there in the house just because it makes no sense. We're nowhere near the water. It's not like, there was nothing there during the time period he was from. So I decided that the way I rationalized it is that my fairy god person is a longshoreman from the 1800s, and that makes perfectly good sense to me that I would have somebody like that following me around. And I can still today, even talking about this, and like I said, this was probably 15, 20 years ago, easily. I can still remember it as clearly today as I did the day that it happened. And it's just, and I was okay. I wasn't scared. I was more like, wow, this is really cool. I'm not scared of the afterlife or different realms. That doesn't, it doesn't bother me. And I mean, it's like every once in a while, I can be sitting here in my house and I can smell my dad. I can smell him walk by. And I'll just be like, hey, Dad, something like that. And yeah, Courtney, go ahead and ask your question. And so to me, it's just really cool. And part of that is also, too, if I go into places and instantly I feel like something's not right, I won't stay in it because it's like I used to be a real estate agent, like I told you, and we would have to go on a caravan where we would drive around and look at other people's listings. Well, every once in a while, I would walk into a house and I'd be like, I don't like it here. There's just something's not right in this house, and it is giving me almost like a claustrophobic feeling. So I was just like, nope. That's it. I'm not going to be here. And then I went to the Queen Mary one time looking for ghosts, and I just got drunk and made a fool out of myself. The only ghost that was there was me. And I actually, I got chased by security. Actually, my children and I got chased by security because I broke into the pool. And so we had to outsmart security, and we actually got away. And I tell you, I did so many cringy things when I was drinking and a mom. And I laugh now, but it was still like, I don't know if you ever watched those old movies in the chase scene. Like, remember the monkeys? I don't know if you ever watched the monkeys, but you okay. So the monkeys, it's like they would always have like a different chase scene. It was exactly that. Okay, so I notice you say setting in place of sitting. You grew up in California. Where does that come from? Please don't hate me. No, it's fine. And you know what? I notice you say setting instead of sitting. You grew up in California. I have no idea. Courtney, I never even noticed I did that. But I do know, and because I've said it before, I do have a little bit of I have a little bit of like a learning kind of like a little bit of a learning disability, and I had to go through speech therapy. And I knew you were going to say you don't notice laugh out loud. That is so cute. Yeah, no, didn't even notice it. But I mix up a lot of things in my brain. And oh, Gloria said, what did I miss? You missed my ghost story, Gloria. So you're going to have to go back and go into my links and watch and rewatch this because it's a really good ghost story. But I do a lot of mixing things up. I mix my lefts and my rights up. I mix my G's and my J's. Yeah, speech therapy all the way. And so I noticed that I do a lot of I pronounce things really weird. Robert and Brandon always are like, why did you just say it like that? And I'm like, because that's how you're supposed to say it. And they're like, no, that's clearly not how that is pronounced. So I do have a lot of mispronunciations on words that I don't even notice. So it must be coming from there. But the next time I have a sentence that has the word sitting or setting, I'm going to conscientiously try to listen to what I say. But when I was a kid, my favorite thing to eat was a hamburger, and I could not say hamburger. And it's still really hard for me to say. I would say hamburger, a hamburger, hangaburger, something like that. So I would be trying to order a hamburger, and it would take me forever to say. So it's, again, just part of my quirky personality that, of course, I have a speech impediment and a little bit of a learning disability. Linda says, did you buy the Puma shoes? Are they the platform ones? You know what? I did not. And here's why I didn't. Because I have to be a woman of my word. And my word is that I am going to buy a pair of Doc Marten sandals. And I priced them out yesterday, and those Puma shoes that I was going to buy were $98. And I would rather buy the Doc Marten sandals when I go to San Francisco than to get a pair of Puma shoes that I already have a bunch of tennis shoes, and then sticking with the ideology that I can't show my toes. And if you're new here, and if you didn't see my live yesterday, I got bullied as a kid over my toes because my second toe is longer than my big toe. And so I was really super conscientious on wearing sandals. And I figured it out yesterday that that's why. And I'm going to get out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to start wearing sandals, and I'm going to start wearing Doc Martens. Oh my gosh, I used to say hangaburger too. See, Courtney, it's like we're the same people, but we're just in different bodies. So yes, a hangaburger and all of that good stuff. Linda said, I love the Monkees. They were my first band loved. Yes. Now, I can remember on Friday nights getting so incredibly just giddy because I would watch the Partridge Family. And that was it. I was addicted to Keith Partridge. He was like, oh my gosh, I was so in love with him. Let's see here. I love my Converse Chuck high tops, and I see have low tops addictive. Yeah, absolutely. And Mickey Dolenz. Yes. You know what? I think probably out of all of the Monkees, I liked Mickey the best. And I think it was just because he had that quirky personality. I mean, Mike seemed to be too old for me, you know? I was like 6, but he was still too old. And then Davey, everybody liked him, so I couldn't like him. And then Peter was always just kind of like the off one. But yeah, no, Mickey Dolenz was for me. Tony, thank you so much. Saw Mucky so much, but Mickey, yes, absolutely. Linda says, looking forward to seeing how it goes with Doc Martin sandals. You know what? I am 100% all about it because I even when I was getting dressed this morning, I was kind of like in my mind, I was like, wow, that would look really cute with a pair of platform Doc Martin sandals. Ooh, I could wear sandals with this. So I was all about it. Have you ever experimented with wigs? No. You know what? The only time I put a wig on is if I'm doing like a video and I'm like, have you ever seen those videos where it's like the same person but is talking like two different people? That's the only time. And no, I absolutely love my hair like this. So I haven't done anything with wigs. Where are you from? I am from Southern California. I live in Temecula, which is right outside of San Diego and Riverside County. And right now, Temecula is all in the news because the school board is trying to ban a book. And I'm not going to get into that because this is a light, fun commentary channel. But yeah, that's where I live. So there you go. That tells you a little bit there. So, okay, so getting back to Friday night TVs. Now, what you all might not know, because I am a lot older than a lot of you, but does anybody remember watching the Jackson 5 and the Osmonds on their variety show? I mean, TV was so cool back then because I'm from SoCal now in NorCal. Okay, see, I go up to San Francisco all the time. I love NorCal. Yes, I mean, TV, there was like the Sonny and Cher show. There was like Merv Griffin. There was, oh gosh, remember Tony Orlando and Dawn? It seemed like every popular singer had like a variety show and Laugh-In and stuff like that. And it was just so much fun to watch. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like watching RuPaul's Drag Race so much is because it really reminds me of that kind of like show. It's like they do skits, they do things like that. The Smother Brothers, oh my gosh, yeah. And even the Hudson Brothers, which that is Kate Hudson's dad. Remember that? They had that also. So yes, all of those, Valerie. And they were such good shows. And it's not like TV's not good now, but it's just different. Because I was sitting here and I always like to talk about like some current stuff that's happening. And yeah, and I was like, there's something called Vanderpump Rules, and I have zero idea what that is. I don't know why there's a controversy. I don't know who these people are, and I don't know why it's such a thing. And so I'm like, I think I can officially call myself old now because I'm like, I have no idea who these people are. I don't even know what channel they're on, and I don't even know what they do. So if you all are out there and you can kind of give me a little idea about what I'm missing, if I'm missing anything at all, I'm all about it because it's like, this is like so out of my realm of what I watch. And I'm just, I just don't get it. Now, Linda says, I remember the Jacksons and the Osmonds cartoon on Saturday mornings. Yes, I forgot about their cartoons. And that's what's really cool is that not only did they have the variety shows, they had their own cartoons. And here's the thing. Now, if you're my age, you'll remember this. To figure out what was going to be on TV, you had to have a TV guide, okay? And I was all about Saturday morning cartoons. And so I would sit there whenever my mom would go grocery shopping on Thursdays. So she would bring home the new TV guide on Thursdays, and I would sit there and I would plan out my Saturday morning cartoon schedule. That's how much I was into cartoons. And I'd be like, okay, if I wake up at 7 and I look at the little page, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to start with Scooby-Doo. And then I'm going to go over to Bugs Bunny. And it was just such a time where I think the technology was not as much. I mean, I had to get up and actually change my own TV channel. But it was like such a cool time to experience that I'm really very, very happy that I got to do that. And I got to see all of those shows. Do you remember Bobby Sherman? Do you remember Bobby Sherman, or am I showing my age? No, I remember Bobby Sherman because Bobby Sherman used to like make little guest appearances on the Partridge Family. So I remember him absolutely. I do. And I am of that age where we had Bobby Sherman. And remember there was Tiger Beat. My mom never let me buy that. I don't know why. I never got to be a part of the cool crowd. I think she always thought like yeah, Lisa, it was such a simple time. So, okay, I don't know why I'm going back in time so much, but I actually have the same record player I had back when I was 5. So this little record player is 53 years old. Okay, now my first Mighty Mouse. Yes, I loved Mighty Mouse. My very first record was off of the back of the Honeycombs box, and it was the Archie's Sugar Sugar. And what I did is I had to eat all the cereal, you know. So I ate all the cereal and then I cut out the record that was on the back of the box and I played that on my little record player. This is actually a little top and I love it. It's from Free People. Now, the other little record I had, because we only had the single ones, what were those, like 45s? The little small ones. I had Elvis Presley in the Ghetto. Now, I thought he was saying in the meadow, and I could never understand why people were shooting each other in a meadow. And I still do that today. I mean, even today, I will be like, I thought Van Halen's Panama, I thought they were saying cannonball. So I'd be like, da-da-da, cannonball, and I'm like, no, it's not cannonball, it's Panama. So I don't know, like I said, it was like, I've got this weird little quirky little brain going, and that is how I operate. And that is one of the reasons why I think my kids are so worried about me getting older, because I'm just going to be that one quirky little old lady who hears things that aren't really being said. I see ghosts, and it's just going to be like, yeah, you know, that's just going to be me. Janine says, laugh out loud. I remember the records on the back of the cereal boxes. Yes. And I don't even, Courtney, you're so sweet. I don't even know, do they still have prizes in cereal boxes? Because I remember that was why I picked out the cereal I wanted. I mean, and my mom always made me eat it because we were poor and food was a luxury. So I was like, yeah, no, I'll just suffer through this. I'll eat all the cereal, but I want what's at the box. But we all know that I am that person who, remember I gave you the story of me sneaking back into my classroom in the 6th grade and stealing the baby gophers out of the snake tank. I was that kid that when my mom wasn't looking, I had my arm all the way into that cereal box, getting the toy out, or at the very least, seeing what the toy was. So I knew what my goal was. So I've always been that person that basically just marches to the beat of her own drum. You know what? And here I am today doing the first thing. My first album was Let's Get Physical by Olivia Newton-John. That was a good one. In fact, I remember, oh gosh, I wish I still had it. But I remember saving up my allowance and getting the Beatles. No, I got the Bee Gees, Sgt. Pepper Lonely Heart Club Band. I got that one. Okay, I'm going to give you another story because you know what? This is turning into story time hour. But okay, so you already know I'm quirky. You already know that I had a really weird childhood. And you already know that I kind of got picked on as a kid. I didn't do much to help myself. Let's just put it this way. So here I am. I've got weird toes. I've got hairy arms and a little bit of a fuzzy face. Let's go back to middle school, okay? And in middle school, I took drama because we're all supposed to take drama in middle school. And the assignment was to do a lip syncing to your favorite song. All right? Sounds cool, right? Are you the youngest child? Yes, I was the youngest child. It was me and my sister. She was 5.5 years older than I was. So lip sync to your favorite song. Super easy. You know what? It's in the 70s. Everybody's doing like Foreigner, Fleetwood Mac, Elton John, all of those really cool bands. Well, I lip synced to the Bare Necessities off of the Jungle Book album. So, yes, that cartoon, The Jungle Book, the Bare Necessities, this is me lip syncing. So I remember, I don't know, it was the only album I had at the time. It was either that or Harper Valley PTA or Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. And you can't really do that because it's all instrumental. So I picked that song, and I still remember sitting there, and it was Guy Monziglio was doing Cold as Ice, and Angie, I think her last name was Dickinson, but yeah, she was the girl, and he was singing to her, and it was really cool because it was really popular. And so they're like, the whole class is like, oh, they're so cool. Yeah, yeah. So here I come walking up, and I had overalls on, and I had painted freckles, and I lip synced to the frickin' Bare Necessities. And everybody was looking at, they were all pumped up, and they were all like, yeah, you're so cool. And then after I did my lip syncing, it was like crickets. It was like, preek, preek. And the look on my teacher's face is like, oh, no, you did not. And I'm like, okay, everybody, that was it. But it's those kind of things I think is the experience. Yeah, don't worry about your troubles and your pawpaw. It's like the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worry and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. I don't remember all the words, but that is, and I still today travel with that kind of thought in my head. And I guess you've always been brave. No chance I'd ever do that willingly. You know what? It's not so much that I'm brave. I think that it's just because I don't know. It was like I just didn't think that there was really anything wrong with it until after I saw the reaction of the class. And then I'm like, wow, that's really unfortunate. And, and I always like when I was younger, like in my, high school or something like that, I was always like, why didn't my mom stop me? Why didn't my mom be like, hey, you know what? You might not want to do that in front of your class. Let's go to the store and buy you a current record. No, my mom was all like, you know what? That's perfect. But she always kind of had that same quirky personality. So, yeah. And then later on, I think that was in the 7th grade. And then in the 8th grade, I asked Chip Beeman, who was Guy Monziglio's best friend. I told Chip that I was going to ask Guy to the Sadie Hawkins dance, and he laughed in my face. And I remember feeling so horrible about myself. And I'm like, wow, I didn't think it was that funny. I don't think I was that offensive. And so I went, it's a top. So I went to the Sadie Hawkins dance by myself. I didn't ask anybody else. But here's the thing, y'all. And this is the cool thing about social media is that I know I've seen Guy Monziglio and I've seen Chip Beeman. And yes, I'm using their first and their last name because you know what? You said it, but I've seen them. And I'm like, wow, it's just, I mean, if I were to walk past one of them today, I wouldn't be attracted to them. And so it's like, if you're out there and you feel like you're the ugly duckling and you feel like you don't fit in and you feel like everybody is like on the in crowd and you're not, just know that you're going to flourish in your own way. All right. You're going to just be you. And it's hard when you're younger and it's hard when you go through all of those things. But I'm telling you right now, your individuality is what's going to make you shine the brightest. So don't beat yourself up and don't wish you were popular and don't wish that you were somebody else anywhere remotely than who you are, because I'm telling you right now, if I hadn't have gone through all of those things and had all those experiences, I wouldn't be as brave as I am today. And I don't think I would be shining as bright today. So hang in there and just embrace your individuality and your quirkiness and your speech impediments, and just 100% love yourself for who you are. Because I'm telling you right now, I would not trade places with any single one of those people if I had to give up who I was today. Period. End of story. So Courtney, do you have a question you want to get me? Because I am almost out of time telling you all of these stories about everything that I have done. So, and I'm still best friends with my best friend from high school. And she wasn't as quirky as I was, but she just liked me for me being me. I'm completely in love with your makeup. Okay, here's my makeup. And I told y'all at the very beginning, and I am absolutely obsessed with this now. But I did a cobalt blue Urban Decay eyeliner with just like a real soft kind of muted pink. And I did that. Favorite product or cosmetic under $10? Well, I love the blue eyeliner, but that was $20. And I would have to say, truthfully, I would say the Whoa Glow sunscreen that I've been using from e.l.f. I have found that by putting that on, it has such a punch of moisture that all the rest of my foundation is going on with no problem. And I wanted to ask you this, and I know that we're almost out of time, but I'll ask you again on Monday. But I always finish my foundation like on Wednesdays. And I did that with the contouring and something like that. So what I did today is, if you watched last week's contouring trick, what I did is I put all the dots all over my face, and then I blended it in with the BB cream from Maybelline. What I did this morning is I put all the dots all over my face, then I blended them in with no BB cream, and then I put just a light little BB cream over the top of that. I think I like that even better. And so I'm going to somehow try to incorporate that into Wednesday's Beauty Live, because to me, it's like it just kind of gave my face a little bit more of a definition. So we'll do something along those ways on Wednesday. Now on Monday, I am going to be cooking again on Monday, and I put a poll up on my channel. And what we're going to be cooking is street corn pasta salad. That one won hands down. So we're going to be putting that together and cooking that on Monday's live. And I'm super excited about that because I love street corn. And it looks like a really yummy recipe. So what I'll do is I'll probably cook the pasta prior, and I'll cook the corn prior. And then on the live, I'll put it all together and I'll mix up the sauce that goes into it. Thank you, Amelia. And then I'll put that all together and I'll try that out. But I think that sounds super yummy. And then the other offers that they had to choose from was cottage cheese bread, which I think sounds interesting. Crunchy tofu, which I'm actually going to try to make this weekend. So I'm going to try that. And then some tuna fritters, like some tuna patties, but I was going to use fake tuna. So I thought that was interesting. So I hope you all enjoyed my little walk down memory lane, and I hope that you all listen to my stories as an inspiration and not like oh, poor Lonni. You know what? She had wonky toes and she lip synced to Disney tunes in the middle school, and I don't look back at any of that with any sort of like sadness. I really don't. I like being an individual. I like standing out. I like being different. So for me, by being different and doing all of those things is in my comfort zone. I think probably my biggest fear is complacency. And my biggest fear is just blending in because that's not who I am. I don't want to blend in. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be me, and I want to be bright, and I want to be different, and I want to be bold. So all of those experiences have just led me to where I am today, and I am perfectly okay with that. So there's no, you are so entertaining. Thank you, Linda. And that's just the thing is, it's like, there's no, oh, poor Lonni. I mean, yeah, you know what? I probably could have made my life a little bit easier, but you know, I just like the way it turned out. So there you go. I have to go and I have to go get Indy more dog food. That darn dog actually eats 35 pounds of dog food a month. So she is eating me out of house and home, and she is time for her to get some more dog food. And let's see. So I'm not going to be live over the weekend. I will be live on Monday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're going to be cooking. So we will be in the kitchen on Monday. And yeah, you know what? Maybe what I'll do is, since I'm going to have everything pre-cooked, maybe I will stay here. What kind of dog do I have? I have an 80-pound American Bully, which actually is a breed of its own now. I did not know that. I thought all pit bulls were pit bulls, but she is an American Bully. I actually did a DNA test on her because she was so much bigger than Liberty. I mean, she wasn't as tall as Liberty, but she is growing outwards. She's like growing to be a coffee table with legs and fur. She is a big baby. And she is she's such a loving dog. I mean, just absolutely. I could just do a complete episode on what a big, loving baby dog she is, but that will be a different subject for a different day. All right, everybody, I have been talking for 1 hour and 6 minutes. I gotta go. I gotta go do things. I'm gonna go show PetSmart and Sprouts my cute outfit. And remember to always be bright, be bold, be brave. If you are quirky and if you are different, don't just embrace it and have fun with it. And I always tell myself at the end of the day, who wants to be like anybody else? Because you know what? I sure as heck don't. I just want to be the best version of me I can be on a daily basis. And yeah, I think I'm doing a pretty good job of just being me, but that's just my opinion. So I will see you all on Monday. I love you dearly. Have a great weekend. And again, I'll see you on Monday. Bye.